You'll hear him on WIBX overnights on, what's the name of the program? It's Nori, Coast to Coast. Of course, he's someone that believes that if your doctor is prescribing cholesterol medicine to you, that the doctor should be reported and placed in jail. And very interesting. In studio right now is Dr. Joel Wallach. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for your hospitality.
And first of all, you and Andrew, you can explain. And Kelly, you're responsible for bringing him in, right?
Yes, that is true.
All right. And Andrew, you want to just give a little background on that?
This is Kelly Sprague. She's the club manager at Paragon Athletic Club. And Kelly has been doing a lot with, not only positive psychology, but different nutritional things for the members. And she's really worked hard to get Dr. Wallach here because he's a hard man he travels all over the place, so his schedule is very tight. So with that, I'll let her explain how she got him to come in.
So let's do that just quickly. Yep.
Sure. Just through my own personal research, I was on the internet looking for a solve for some hives that I was getting chronically for about 6 months in a row.
Yeah.
No relief from doctors, just pharmaceuticals. And so I started researching on the internet. I came across many testimonies of people using Dr. Wallach's 90 for Life products and said that they were getting phenomenal relief from many different chronic illnesses. I did some further research. I listened to many of his interviews, and I learned about the company Longevity. I've been taking the products for about a year now. Within 2 weeks of taking the products, my hives went away after having them every day for 6 months.
Wow. No other side effects with what you're taking at all?
No side effects.
Wow.
No side effects. Also, really quickly, I had a torn meniscus in my knee. I went and I was supposed to have surgery. That was the only protocol from the doctors. And he swears that if you take his OsteoFX, which is part of the 90 for Life program, that you can heal your knee, your tears in your knee. My knee is better.
Wow.
So with that,
I just had my meniscus. That was
Yeah.
what I had done.
Yeah.
So with that, I just went the extra mile, and instead of trying to explain his theories, I thought, let me just invite
Bring
him
him
to
in.
Central New York,
And you did
which
that.
I did about 6 months ago, and they gave me a spot with him this week, so I took advantage of it. I wanted the information to be shared, and people can make their own
And that was held
assumptions.
last night, by the way.
That was held last night,
So
yes.
we're going to get a chance to really hear what he has to say here today. Dr. Wallach, you born and raised in Missouri, attended University of Missouri, a bachelor's degree in science of agriculture. So you're a veterinarian. We're a veterinarian for 30 years, right?
Well, I have a degree in agriculture. I have a degree in veterinary medicine. I have a postdoc in comparative pathology. I'm a pathologist and do autopsies in animals and people. And I'm a primary care physician as a naturopathic physician licensed in Oregon and California.
Got it.
So I kind of cover those 4 areas.
Okay. So tell me what's different. Let's get into the issue of cholesterol medicine.
Okay.
I, by the way, went off mine about a month and a half ago because
Got to feel better.
well, I was hearing these reports about how kidney failure is becoming a problem without any warning whatsoever if you've been on them for any prolonged period of time. So I thought, well, maybe it's diet that'll solve the problem, and that's what I tried to do anyway.
Well, it comes down to the fact that the cholesterol issue is the biggest hoax ever perpetuated against human beings. The demonization of cholesterol started in 1901 when the German Navy went to a biologist by the name of Wilhelm Norman, a chemist at the University of Berlin, said, look, we need a synthetic smokeless diesel engine lubricant for German submarines. By 1904, he'd accomplished that. After the First World War, they didn't need it anymore. He sold his patent to a British soap manufacturing firm. Couldn't sell the soap, which was a good soap, couldn't sell it because everybody's making their own soap in the 20s, 30s, 40s.
Yeah.
They sold it to Procter & Gamble. They couldn't sell the soap because everybody's making their own soap. So they decided to turn it into a cooking shortening by the name of Crisco. And they couldn't sell the Crisco because Grandma liked her lard, butter, cream, and eggs. And so the Crisco people go to big advertising firms and say, what do we do? They say, well, you've got to demonize what she's doing and saying that cholesterol and saturated fat and the lard, butter, cream, and eggs will clog your arteries and kill you and kill her loved ones and her kids. And she's got to go to heaven, which is the Crisco with church music and butterflies, and they'll make the switch. And people made the switch. And it's been the devastation of humanity because cholesterol is an essential nutrient. When you're deficient in cholesterol, you get low T, low testosterone, you get ED, erectile dysfunction, you get menopause at age 35 instead of 70, you get adrenal exhaustion, you're just tired all the time no matter what you do. And worsely, when they came out with statin drugs to help you lower your cholesterol, in addition to eating egg beaters and non-dairy coffee creamers, you get Alzheimer's disease because 75% of your brain weight is cholesterol.
And I think I'm confusing my cholesterol medicine with my acid reflux. That was the kidney issue. So it's that any of those any of those types of medicines
Nexium
for
type of thing.
Nexium, any prolonged.
PPIs, proton
that's
pump
where
inhibitors.
the kidney issue comes from. But bone issues, hearing really the disintegration of people's joints and bones for prolonged use on these statins. Not to mention just aching bones. Some people I can't even take them because I have pains and I feel terrible when I take them.
How many hours a day do you spend out in your Speedo in the sun?
Usually about 6 or 7 hours.
A day, right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm out there.
Okay, so the problem we have is that the nutrients that are necessary to prevent and reverse obesity, diabetes, musculoskeletal stuff like arthritis and osteoporosis and bone spurs and so on are no longer in your food. Very simple reason. And, of course, that's the piece that everybody needs to know. Why is it we're getting epidemics of all these diseases? It has nothing to do with genetics. All birth defects are caused by nutritional deficiencies, not genetics. And it's because of technology. Technology always has an unintended consequence.
Right.
Well, with us, for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, the universal fuel was wood around the world and in the Pacific Islands, and they learned that they can use the wood ashes as a fertilizer for their gardens. Well, it turns out that wood ashes are not ashes, they're minerals. They're 95 to 98% minerals that the tree sucked up out of the ground. You burn the wood, the minerals don't burn. Put it in the garden, your gardens flourish, but the plants also suck up the minerals. So unbeknownst to the people who were fertilizing their gardens with wood ashes for thousands of years are getting all these minerals from the wood ashes. Well, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street, New York City, Thomas Edison pulls the switch on the first commercial electric generating plant. 10 years later, all towns and cities and municipalities in the industrialized world converted to electricity from wood. No more wood ashes. That began our downward spiral for health because nobody knew they were getting nutritional minerals from the wood ashes. They don't know it today. You ask environmentalists and professors of agriculture and doctors, why are we so minerally deficient? Bad agricultural practices.
Yeah.
No, it's because we went to electricity.
Right.
And it's a billion times worse than that because with all these dams, there's almost 1 million dams around the great rivers around the world for electricity. We've shut off the food supply to the ocean. The ocean's dying. We don't get the spring floods anymore to renew the silt in the soil every year. All that's gone. So if you don't supplement, you're doomed.
I do have to ask, though, and fairness, I gotta ask. If you go to the 1800s, you were quoting when with electricity, 1880 something or other. To today, we really don't have a degrading health. It's just the opposite. We live longer. We are healthier today than we've ever been at any time in the world.
That's not true.
That isn't true?
No, sir.
Life expectancy is
It's going down very rapidly now. It went up. It peaked in right after the 1940s, after the World War II.
I see the statistics, then they're lying to us. Then are you telling us they're lying to us?
Well, it depends on whose statistics you're looking at.
Right.
You're reading stuff written by hippies, or you're looking at stuff written by scientists. Okay. And so when you look at something like National Geographic, nobody can argue with National Geographic. They're neutral as far as politically. They just look at science.
Right.
The top 20 longevity cultures are all third world cultures that have no electricity. They have 40 times 100 as we do. They have 100 per 250 of their population. We have 1 per 10,000. Okay? They live much longer than we do.
Okay.
And they have no technology. None. They have no electricity. They don't have any indoor plumbing. They're still using wood for fuel, putting the wood ashes in their gardens. And by dumb luck, they live in places that have all these nutrients in the soil. Now, nutritional minerals are like gold. Gold doesn't occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. There's gold mines over here, 100 miles over there is a gold mine, but it's not uniform. Same way with iron and copper and zinc and magnesium and manganese and so forth. All these nutritional minerals are found in whirls and swirls like chocolate and chocolate ice cream. And these top 20 longevity cultures on Earth, according to the National Geographic, this is where they have the most minerals in the soil. They use the wood ashes, the trees sucking the minerals out of the soil.
I do have to go back, though, to the life expectancy. Our life expectancy today is far greater today worldwide, especially in the United States, and it is not.
Sir, we just came out, the World Health Organization said 3 months ago that we rank 43rd. Americans rank 43rd in the world when it comes to longevity. 42 other countries live longer than us, and the top 20 are third world cultures that still use wood ancestors.
But if you compare it to what Americans used to live, what our life expectancy used to be, and what it is today, there's about a 30-year gap in there.
Well,
sir.
yeah, it used to be we lived to be 35 to 40.
Correct.
That's
yeah.
because we're dying of plagues and bacterial and viral infections. Well, now we
Right,
have clean
right.
water and food inspection. We've taken care of the infectious diseases.
Okay.
We've done a very good job with infectious diseases. But when it comes to diabetes and high blood pressure and
And
heart
health
disease and kidney failure,
okay, all right.
we are an abysmal failure.
Yeah.
That's our problem.
And the other thing on cholesterol, and I understand there are side effects with all these cholesterol medicines, but at the same time, we're being lied to.
That's correct.
Okay.
Cholesterol has nothing to do with cardiovascular disease. It was a sales campaign to sell Crisco. Get over it.
I know you've. I'm really not that hung up on it, but I'll try to get over it if you'd like. Let me break, and we'll come back and talk more to Dr. Wallach in studio here. And I appreciate the fact that you're here.
Thank
but
you.
you have to understand, I have to ask
I understand.
questions, right? And
I've
be
been doing
somewhat
radio for 23 years.
somewhat suspicious. So.